federal NDP leadership candidate Nikki Ashton has been forced to decline the endorsement of an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier, someone that she took pictures with at a fundraiser as recently as just a couple weeks ago at the Mississauga Palestine Aid Society. Now, the anti-Semite in question is someone called Nazi Katatba. He once called Jewish suffering a fairy tale, and he denied the extermination of millions of Jews by the Nazis in the Holocaust. He's a real peach. Ashton says she in no way supports anti-Semitic views, and she will not accept support from people who hold such views. But is that really true? Is Ashton being honest? I'm going to lay out just some evidence of Nikki Ashton playing footsie with the pro-Palestinian, frankly, neo-Nazi movement in plain sight. And then, well, you can make your own decisions. I took a trip over to Nikki Ashton's Facebook page. Over there, I found a post she made to commemorate the creation of the State of Israel. But it wasn't a post that celebrated the creation of this free and democratic state in the middle of the Middle East. No, it was a post that lamented it. It was a post where she used the word Nakba to describe the creation of the State of Israel. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nakba is an anti-Semitic term used by the pro-Palestinian movement to delegitimize the State of Israel and the right of the Jewish people to even exist there. In that same post, Ashton posted pictures of herself speaking at a pro-Palestine rally in Montreal. So let's take a look at a couple of those pictures in just a little more depth. Let's look at this picture right here of her standing at the podium. You'll see behind her there's a slide on the big screen. At the bottom of that slide it says CJPME. Now that stands for the Center for Justice and Peace in the Middle East. Sounds great, right? No, it's one of those Orwellian names that activist groups give themselves to describe their anti-Semitic behavior as some sort of quest for peace. That same group, CJPME, is behind an anti-Semitic stickering campaign where they'll go into private stores and stick sticky notes on Jewish-made products telling you not to buy them because they're made by Jews. It's Hitlerian telling people not to buy from Jews because they're Jews. These people will go into your local Canadian Tire store and stick stickers all over the SodaStream products because they're made by a Jewish-owned company, a Jewish company that employs hundreds of Arabs. But CJPME, they don't care about that kind of thing. They'll actually put hundreds of Arabs out of work in their quest to put Jewish people out of business. And then let's take a look at Nikki Ashton's next picture. It's one of her standing outside in front of a rally speaking into a microphone. You see those posters behind her? Those posters have a picture of a man on them. That man is named Ahmad Sadat. He's the imprisoned leader of a terrorist organization named the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. It's a designated terrorist group in Canada. It's right here on this list on the public safety website. His group, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, claimed responsibility for a meat cleaver attack in a Jewish synagogue in 2014 that killed one Canadian. 4 worshippers were killed that day. 1 Israeli Druze policeman later died in hospital, and 7 other men were severely injured, including a Canadian named Howie Rothman. Let me tell you about the injuries to that Canadian, Howie Rothman. He was deep in prayer when he was attacked. He was struck on the right side of his head with a meat cleaver. He lost an eye in the attack. His arm was completely severed and doctors had to reattach it. There were several hits to his head with the cleavers that caused severe brain damage. But Howie was a fighter. It took him a year to die from those injuries he sustained that day. The attackers, they were all cousins from East Jerusalem. Nikki Ashton is calling for justice for imprisoned terrorists on hunger strikes. She should be calling for justice for the people who were praying before they were butchered with meat cleavers to their heads. So you decide for yourself, is it really any surprise that Nikki Ashton got an endorsement from the Palestinian version of the neo-Nazi movement? I'd say no. She's been courting these people in public under our noses for years. And really, there's just so much more. That's just me dismantling one Nikki Ashton Facebook post. Nikki Ashton, while she might be a little uncomfortable that her closeness with the anti-Semitic Palestinian movement finally got noticed by someone, while the mainstream media all week long has been painting the right as though they have a really big neo-Nazi problem, I'd say they better look inward at themselves and to those on the far left and mainstream left to see where the real problem with anti-Semitism lies. It might lie in the far fringe of the right, but anti-Semitism, it's the mainstream on the left, and it's being masked in the Orwellian terms of peace and justice. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunreed. They want to kill the rebel. Ezra has a plan to fight back. Go to istandwiththerebel.com and add your name.